What is going on, guys? It's your boy Az. We are back here with another Storm Tower Omega video for you guys. This will probably be the last one that I do here before it's over. And of course, as well, we'll see if I do any more in a couple weeks time if I do some more testing. But today I want to focus specifically when I do the run here, focusing on free-to-play friendly teams. Basically sell 1 to 9, right? That's going to be the limiter for a lot of people that don't want to build up some Cosmic Crucible teams. So we're going to focus on the 1 to 9 section with fairly free-to-play friendly teams. No Xaviers, no Phx Force, no Odins. And of course, as well, I will do sections 10, 11, and 12 as well with the other teams if you have them built up. But I will quickly go over the roster here, and I'll quickly do a spreadsheet check as well so you guys can have everything at your fingertips when you guys do these runs here, and hopefully helps everybody out depending on where you guys are in the game. Okay, so quick look at the spreadsheet here. I'm going to attach it in the description so you guys have it as well here. But yeah, essentially, the first one, there's two sections, right? We're going to have a Cosmic Built section, and then there's going to be a friendly, free-to-play, friendly-ish section. And there's restrictions on the left there. Hopefully you guys can see that. But yeah, like I said, we're gonna have basically the free to play friendly side of things. We're gonna start things off with Cabal and Brimstone. Keep in mind that if you do decide to go through the free to play friendly stream, you're not gonna be able to use Daemon later on in section number 5, because that section number 5 also requires Daemon as well. So that would be calling for the Daring Warriors. So don't use Cabal, Brimstone if you do use them in number 5, which is right over here where the Daring Warrior section is. So just keep that in mind. So you're gonna start us off with the Cabal Brimstone. That's gonna easily tap things out. Keep it simple. You can probably sub out a couple characters as well here. Omega Red and the Cabal would also work as well, I believe. And then then we're going to use a Fantastic Four Quasar for the section node, the second one. The third one, we're going to use a combination of Old Man Logan and Nightcrawler. This is going to bypass the fact that we don't need to have the Phx Force. And then the fourth node is going to require a Cursed. But for those of you that don't have a Curse, we can use Mephisto and Null. That's going to break through it. And then again, like I said, number 5, if you have Daring Warriors, do use the Daring Warriors if you can. But if you're free to play friendly and you don't have them built up, you can also use this Storm, Sentry, Songbird, Thunderstrike, and Daemon combo as well. That's going to work just as good. And then finally, section number 6 is going to call for the Immortal X-Men's, or you can use New Moons if you have New Moons built up. And then, number 7, we start us off with basically Cabal LDS. So this is what I was saying before. You may be able to use this team here, basically in that first node. I just use Daemon because it makes it really quick and fast. And you guys will see that here. It'll take like 10 seconds for him to do one thing. And then, the next Cosmic Hero. This is when people start having to use Odin and Xavier. You can bypass it basically with Fantastic 3 plus Void Knight and Lilandra. I tested it around with quite a few teams, and this one works quite well. You guys will see gameplay footage of that. And then, you can also do this next section of the mutant ones. This is the one where basically people will be capped off. If you don't have Phx Force built up and you don't have Xavier, then what you can do here is you can actually use Exalted X-Men as well. You can use Exalted here. Exalted X-Men will crush it, and you guys will see that in my gameplay. I won't have it in this video, but I'll attach the one that I did a few days ago in the description so you guys can have a look at it as well. And then, for the mutant section, after that, or not mutant section. Oh, I doubled up on this. This is not mutant section. This should be Villain Cosmic. My apologies. I see that up there now. But anyways, so you should use a Cursed here. And there's no solution to it outside of the fact that you have a Cursed. So that's why I was making this video basically from 1 to 9. Because, 10 would require a Cursed. If you don't have a Cursed built up, you can't really bypass through it. I've tried every combination possible. Hours and hours of pounding my head against the wall. Didn't work. And then, if you do make it past it and you do have the Accursed built up, then what you can do is you can use a Sentry Daemon comp again. This one has been proven to work over and over, and I myself don't have gameplay of it, but people have assured me it works, and they didn't have their Daring Warriors built up. So that's great stuff. And then finally, we have the Exalted X-Men for the last section. And if you don't have Exalted X-Men, you can also use New Moons as well. So it just depends on your roster. But like I said, 1 to 9 should be fairly free to play friendly-ish, stopping at around basically Lalandra. And if you don't have the Phx Force 3 here, you can use Exalted X-Men, especially if you don't have the Accursed built up and you know you're going to be stuck at number 10, then you can use your Exalted X-Men on number 9 and crush it. And yeah, like I said, I'll link the description of the footage of that. And let's quickly jump back in game here for the roster check. Okay, oh man, this is going to be a very lengthy video, so apologies now in advance. So the roster check here, we'll quickly go into the squads. So again, we use our Daemon in a Guardian comp. You may be able to do it with a different team. It was just very fast. Like I said, there's lots of team comps. The first one is a kind of a gimme. Like I said, Fantastic Four is the next one. And yeah, just keep in mind, my Cabal is basically 3 level 100s, and my Guardian's 96, and Daemon's 105. And then Daemon's the only D21. Yeah, Fantastic Four is all 106-ish outside of Human Torch, and same with Quasar, and then also G20 as well. We use them for Professor X. Oh, and also, just with regards to my roster, just assume I've got every T4 on there, because, yeah, my roster is just, yeah, I basically just T4 everything because of the fact that I have so many T4s. Just trying to see if somebody else... I know that. Oh, Wolverine, I don't have his adamantium claws, but yeah, I have 18,000 T4s. So yeah, I always try to T4 when I can. So just if you guys are wondering where my T4s are, or like which ones are T4'd, just assume every character I have is maxed out. Okay, so anyways, back to Fantastic Four. That's gonna crush the second node. Third node, like I said, you can use basically Phx Force, or you can use Fantastic Four. You can use Phx Force 3 or Exalted, sorry. So that's why I have both these teams here. Yeah, it doesn't matter which one you use. If you have Phx Force, it's going to work great. If you don't have Phx Force, you can also use, like I said, the Exalted X-Men. Or you can use a Nightcrawler, Old Man Logan combo. That also works just as well. It just depends on your roster. But if you're not going to use Exalted X-Men, just use them there. Yeah, and they are kind of the newer team. And then, yeah, like I said, number 4 is the Accursed, but you can bypass the Accursed with this Surfer Breaker, Mephisto Null team. Yeah, it works really, really good. And now we have our 7 red Surfer Breaker as well, thanks to the event. So that's cool. And then, yeah, there's a Daemon comp that works with Storm Mighty. So keep in mind, if you use the Exalted X-Men before, you won't be able to use the Storm Mighty here, but it really doesn't matter. Daemon and Thunderstrike and Songbird are kind of the main damage dealers. And like I said, if you have Daring Warriors, you can just scratch this bit. But like I said, my Sentry's level 64. He's not going to be able to do anything. Just keep that in mind. And then we finish things off with Immortal X, and you guys will see the gameplay of that fairly easy. Then number 7, we stick with Cabal plus Omega Red. Again, like I said, you can see mostly these guys are all 105. Tier 19 or tier 20, and I got my 4 Diamond Omega Red, so that's why I have them in there, but you don't need to have them. You can probably have somebody else, to be honest with you guys. Void Knight plus Fantastic 3 in the Lalandra will take care of that pesky node number 8 without having Odin or Xavier, and you guys will see footage of that. And then finally, to finish things off in the free-to-play aspect, you can use the Phx Force 3 to take care of that one, just to cancel out the Mephisto. And if you don't have Phx Force 3, you can also use the Exalted X-Men as well. And like I said, I'm going to attach the gameplay footage for you guys there. Number 10 is going to have to require the Accursed. There's no way around it. Now, if you guys are looking for a minimum way to do it, I've got all my Accursed at tier 19, level 105. I do believe somebody else said you don't really need to have Juggernaut at level 105. You can probably have him lower, but everybody else is kind of a... You need to have them there. Oh, also, this should be Null, actually. Null should be here. My apologies. I'm just noticing that there. But yeah, Azazel won't be in that group. And then, yeah, Daring Warriors for number 11. There is a Sentry comp that works if you don't have Daring Warriors. But again, Daring Warriors is pretty much my only characters that are level 110 besides Storm Mighty, because we used them for the Surfer Breaker. And, oh, I guess she's right there, so you can kind of see that there. So level 110s. And then, yeah, like I said, the last and final section, we can use the Exalted X-Men. And you don't need to have them at 110. You just... Yeah, like I said, you could probably have Storm at 105. It's probably fine. I just had her at 110 because at one point when we were doing the Surfer Breaker, she was at 3 stars. I needed levels on her. It was the only way around it. So that's kind of the way it goes. And then I just have some weak Wakandans there. But hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, like I said, I'll just recap it all again. Like I said, Cabal, Daemon, Fantastic 3, Exalted / Phx Force, Surfer Breaker plus Mephisto Null, or you can use Accursed. You can also use the Sentry comp or Daring Warriors here. Number 6 is going to be Immortals. And then number 7 is going to be this Cabal team, Fantastic 3 plus Void Knight, and Delandra will get through number 8. And then Phx Force 3, or you can use Exalted, or you can use Professor Xavier. So there's some options there. Number 10 is going to be Accursed. There's no way around it. You need to be Accursed. No one has been able to figure out another team. I tried my butt off to try different team comps. Nothing worked. Number 11 is the Daring Warriors, or your Sentry comp that I mentioned already. And finally, we got the Exalted X-Men finishing things off here. Other than that, guys, that's all I want to say. Let's quickly dive into the gameplay and hopefully helps you guys out.
Let's begin. So the first one's kind of a gimme here, but basically we're going to use Daemon plus 3-piece Cabal. Now, if you don't want to use Daemon and you have to use Daemon later on in the stages, like for Cell 5, where it requires him without Daring Warriors, do not use Daemon here. You can also sub in, say, for example, Apocalypse, so that the safeguard does not apply, and use LDS as well. That is also a very suitable combo. But I am assuming here that in this case, in case you don't have Apocalypse unlocked, then Daemon is going to make a very short work of these guys. And if you already have Daring Warriors and you're going to be using Daring Warriors on cell number 5, then this is the way to do it. And as you guys can see here, that Daemon bomb just clears everything. And then the Cabal basically just do their thing, and they're able to get pretty short work done of the rest of the crowd here. Just Eternals left in the second batch, and shouldn't really give you guys too much grief here in terms of the stragglers. And then like I said, you can pretty much just hit auto. And again, just restating here that you may be able to try a 3-piece Cabal with 2 other ones that may work. I just didn't really test too much because cell 1 was very straightforward.
Let's go into cell 2. This is also a fairly simple one with a 3-piece Fantastic Four. We just slot in Quasar and Havoc here, but you're probably okay to use some other options if you don't have these 2 characters available. You can also do the full, probably the full 5-piece Fantastic Four as well if you have those guys. What's important here is just making sure that when you are doing these nukes, make sure you take care of the Old Man Logan, because if you don't take care of Old Man Logan, and if he starts building momentum, he can be problematic, and hence why we want to make sure we can take care of him. We also want to save the ults as well here. When the next wave drops, having Invisible Woman's ult will be very nice for us to use to annihilate the board. And remember, the Winter Guards that drop as well are also quite a pain in the arse, so just be careful of that. But nonetheless, if you save Invisible Woman's ultimate for that, and combine that with Quasar's defense down, you shouldn't really have too many issues here. They have a lot of burst damage, but very low health, and that should allow you to get through it quite easily with this Fantastic 3 team. So hopefully that makes sense. Again, cell 1, cell 2, fairly straightforward, I think. And if you have Odin, if you have Xavier, slap them in there. You'll make short work of them. Actually, wait, yes, I believe you can use Xavier here. I'm not sure. I don't recall now. But yeah, but if you have Odin, use Odin here. Odin will make it easy as well.
Okay, so next one here, we're going to incorporate a non-Phx Force team. This is one I think that was giving people a little bit of grief if they didn't have the Phx Force built up. So this is kind of nice where we can take advantage of that by taking advantage of Nightcrawler, and of course as well the new Storm Mighty as well. She's really good here because of the fact that she can apply the mass slow, and of course as well Nightcrawler does the special here that gives the speed to the team, and once you use that, we can kind of get ahead of the of the Insidious / Sinister 6 or whatever you want to call it, and it allows our team to go first. And then once you get the stuns under control, then you're able to basically control the board, and that's kind of it. If you don't have this team, it makes it really difficult, right? Like if you're not running Phx Force, if you're not running Professor Xavier, this team will basically have a whole bunch of turn meter ahead of your team, and so hence why we have to get a little creative here. Shadow King does his pings, and of course as well we have Jean Grey, Phoenix for the yes, Jean Grey. Yeah, Jean Grey and Phoenix for the extra cushion here. Jean Grey is on here. Yeah, that's right, buddy. Yeah, Jean Grey. Yeah, my son heard us talking. I love him. So anyways, yeah, so very straightforward, like I said. Other than that, you guys should be able to get through it very straightforward here. And then, yeah, pretty much everything else is just about crowd control, and you don't really have to worry about your cooldowns or anything, right? Because it just resets afterwards. But we will run it with a different version as well in case you guys want to keep some of these characters on your docket. There is another version we can run here with the Exalted X-Men as well. If you have Exalted X-Men, you don't really need to save them for any of the other sections, so you can also run Exalted X-Men on this section as well if you have Exalted X-Men unlocked. If you don't have Exalted X-Men, then just use, like I said, one of these teams. And if you have Xavier, you don't even have to worry about this team itself. This team is really good, like I said, Nightcrawler and Old Man Logan. Just lots of control here, lots of pings from Shadow King as well, and it'll get through Cell 3 fairly smoothly with no issues. Okay, so we'll jump into the next one here, and like I said, Exalted X-Men, and also for this one, you want to make sure, you want to make sure if you're not using these guys later on, it really doesn't matter, their composition, but I will recommend having Nightcrawler here because we want Nightcrawler to beat the speed manipulation here from the Insidious 6. If you don't have Nightcrawler, it does make it very problematic, and Nightcrawler, it makes it very difficult just to get ahead of the speed bar. But once you do, and once Storm applies that slow and she gets going here, you're gonna see that the team does shift in our balance. And yeah, we don't have Old Man Logan throwing the stuns around, but we also have Storm Mighty. Old Man Logan. My son is just being a parrot today, isn't he? He's funny. So anyways, as you guys get through this one here as well, you'll see that we also have mass amounts of crowd control here from Jubilee. I've got some blinds, and yeah, once you kind of get through that initial first wave, it's going to be very straightforward, and hopefully you guys can see that. It is not very difficult. The early few cells are a little bit more forgiving than the later sections, so for sure, if you can, maximize on these teams. Exalted X-Men is a good one too as well, I think, for the last cell, but I like my Immortals there, and I haven't tried the Exalted X-Men there yet, but I probably could. I might do some more testing later on here, or maybe in the next Storm Tower. Yeah, I feel like I don't want to play this too much because it is coming back in a couple weeks, and I'll have time to kind of refresh and recap then as well. But I want to do one last final run and kind of mesh it all together for you guys, so that you guys can kind of see all the teams together. Free to play, and of course as well if you are looking to hit all 12. And then it gives you an idea of some teams to work on as well for next time when it does come back in a couple weeks. Of course as well, we got the Fear Tower coming, so of course we got to focus our attention on that one now. But for sure, I wanted to get some footage out so that way we have something for the back panel for the next time it does come back, for people that are able to, hopefully prepare and maximize the rewards and get that Storm Shards. Yep. So once you get down to the last couple of guys, you could probably just hit auto here, but yeah, like I said, very straightforward with the Exalted X-Men. This is the newest and latest and greatest team, and yeah, if it helps you guys out, I would definitely for sure start putting in resources into these guys here, especially with the upcoming Fear Tower as well. That was one of the reasons why I've been hoarding a lot of my resources, and of course as well, one of the reasons why we have basically, we haven't had any regrets with pushing these guys. On top of that, it does not help the fact that Morph and Angel are kind of one of my favorites as well from the X-Men series. So these guys were smart to use some very iconic characters here. Of course as well, having the reworked Wolverine is really cool as well. And like I said, the team itself I haven't found to be terrible, but definitely for sure I can see that the team is definitely not complete without Morph, because Morph cancels out a lot of that speed. And yeah, we need to get him onto the team here sooner than later. And of course as well, we should have access to Morph in probably another week or so, I think, or I gotta look at the command center. I think you get about 10 points, but I missed a few days because sometimes you forget to collect the objectives in time. And then yeah, but overall you should be able to get enough points, I think, with a 3 or 4 day cushion, so that you can get Morph unlocked free to play. And I'm definitely going to be bumping them up to probably tier 19, level 105, which is kind of the gold standard, I think, for people for doing content. 105 tier 19 is kind of really the set point right now. I think you don't need to have 110 tier 20 just yet, but and we've been getting by with a lot of the content just sticking around the 105s. So hopefully that stays true here moving forward as well. So we're going to jump in here now with cell number 4, and this is another one where, yeah, again, we are able to bypass this without the accursed team thanks to our null and thanks to our Mephisto, and being able to have access to these characters is key here because of the fact that it is kind of designed for Accursed. Now, I haven't been able to find a workaround on the other Accursed node, but this one is fairly straightforward, and this one has a little bit more forgiveness to it because of the fact that we are able to take advantage of the fact that Mephisto doesn't get blocked here. In the other one, the Starjammers basically blocks Mephisto, and it makes it almost impossible to do. So hence why we have to use a curse when we switch over to node 10. But for node number 4, you can't get through it here, and basically Null and the Mephisto are basically the quarterbacks to this entire section here. They are very strong, and I've had time to play around here. You can have Surfer Breaker, you can have Thanos, you can have Doom, you can have Dormammu. The combinations have been very successful, and you don't necessarily need to have this lineup here, but I will say that having Null and having basically Surfer Breaker and Mephisto will basically guarantee it. I think the core 3 there really helps, and you guys will be able to kind of test around with it as well. Now keep in mind, if your Surfer Breaker isn't as big as mine, or if you don't have for perhaps you don't have Thanos, like I said, you can use other characters like Dormammu and Doom, which can help give the turn meter. We did this previously in another video, but again, the combinations here work quite well. And once Null gets going, once he uses that special and then he uses the alt, yeah, it just basically becomes an endless tear of carnage speed. And of course as well, we have Thanos here, basically just helping to feed the energy back to Null as well, which really helps because you can apply more specials, or you can use another alt here. But yeah, it really does improve the efficiency of it as well. And of course Thanos can heal himself, and he's got a massive that AoE drain attack, right, that basically hits everybody. So it's nice. All the AoE helps out, and same with Mephisto's alt here, as you see. Yeah, all these characters will help, and really it's just surviving the initial attacks here. But I do imagine that yeah, if you have a curse, just run a curse. A curse makes it easy. Also keep in mind, none of my characters on this group is level 110 as well, so kind of shows to you the the efficiency of this team, even though we don't have the level 110s. And yeah, we do have quite a bit of tier 20s though. Null is tier 20, Thanos is tier 20, we also have Surfer Breaker, who's also tier 20, so a lot of T20s here. But nonetheless, we've kept the levels at least at 105, because that's, like I said, that's kind of the base standard, which I feel like is very good right now. And on top of that, we haven't really had to push too many characters up to 110. I think there's only a handful in my arsenal that are 110. So yeah, for sure, just make sure you guys are kind of minning and maxing your resources when you can here. So Daring Warriors, this is the other one that people have been running Sentry, Songbird, and some other various combinations. I wasn't able to get the footage of it because my Sentry is not 105, but we'll use Daring Warriors here, and I'm going to link my boy Rage's video in the description so you guys can take a look at his run on it. His Sentry is 105, and I think he did get him to tier 19 or something like that. So Sentry is a massive part here to stop the speed manipulation. But if you don't have the speed manipulation, you can run Daring Warriors here. Daring Warriors does a very good job here opening with a special. This will get things going for the energy side of things, and then once we get to Night Thrasher's ultimate, he's going to be able to cleanse everything on the board, and this helps us out a lot because of the fact that it just applies all these negatives on the trauma as well. And especially against this team here, which is a very punishing team. Hence why you have to get a little crafty with like a Daemon, Sentry, Songbird combo where it's just high speed. And if you play these guys in Cosmic Crucible, you'll know they're such a pain in the arse. You need to use high speed characters because this team is slower, but they cancel out so much speed manipulation, and they cancel out blinds and bleeds and stuns. So it is a very good team, despite the fact that they are a bit kind of closer to the outdated side, and they were released closer to the end of the 2.0 era. So this was kind of like the last team, I think, before the 3.0 stats were announced with the Winter Guard. But nonetheless, a very powerful team still. And obviously you can see here that you do need very specific attacks. And once you guys do control these guys early on, should be fairly easy here for you. So also keep in mind, my Daring Warriors are also tier 20. All of them are also level 110 as well. So this is kind of, yeah, this is like the top echelon of the player base, of course. And of course as well, my Clips was only 3 red, 4 yellow, and my Night Thrasher and my Speedball are 4 stars. So hence why we had to bump them up quite a bit for the Surfer Breaker event, and hence why they're also built up the way they are. So apologies there, but I do believe people were saying that you can get it done with them being less levels, so long as you have the stars and the stats. So You may not necessarily need G20, but you definitely for sure need some high stars or diamonds to make it a little easier for yourselves. So the next wave drops, we can just take care of the rest of the new moons, and you want to save JJ's alt here. That's going to be very, very important for clearing a lot of the positives here. Otherwise, it makes it very, very painful. We'll try to throw a stun, which does not work, but JJ's alt is huge here because it's going to cleanse basically the positives, and then that's going to allow us to be able to start dishing out some negatives to this particular team. And yeah, this is not a hard team to beat. They are quite easy once the new moons are down, but for sure, like I said, don't waste the alt from JJ later on. If you use it later on or earlier on, excuse me, it may be a little bit, it'll probably just be a little more difficult. Watch this. Daredevil should be able to take out somebody from Max here just because he's got the counterattack and the crits. So dead. And you know, as expected, from one of the highest damage dealers in the game. So that makes a lot of sense there. And yeah, like I said, once you get rid of those two, you'll see here that's fairly straightforward. May even require just some RNG as well. If your Daring Warriors is a bit lower, you just got to survive that first couple of hits, and having the what do you call it, the silence as well helps. So then they can apply the negatives to our team. But it won't really work on Wolf's main. She can kind of bypass it, but the other ones, it should work fairly well. Also, keep in mind that if you guys don't want to build the Daring Warriors, if this is a team that you just decide to skip altogether, you are able to get through this one with basically a Sentry and Songbird and Daemon alternative. I'm gonna, again, I think I already mentioned it before, but I'll attach the video from my boy Rage so you guys can have a look as well here if you don't want to use the Daring Warriors. But nonetheless, it will help you get through it, and you know, you can try to get as much rewards out of it as possible here without having to overspend on the Daring Warriors. Now the next team we're going to run into here is the last and final section of the first week. This is cell 6. We are able to punch through it without using new moons, and this is just ensuring that we use our Immortal X. This is a good team because lots of people have built up these raid characters, and on top of that as well, they have a lot of multifunction and more. But the important thing here is throwing that stun on the Red Hulk so that you can spread it. And of course as well, you want to be very careful here not to push the Azazel. You want to get rid of Azazel and make sure that you can control his speed bar before the next wave drops. If someone dies, then what ends up happening is the next wave drops, Satana comes, and then there's at least 4 cursed on the board, and then you can't do any turn rewind. So this is where it's important. You don't use this ultimate, you use kind of the basic or the special from Polaris, and then you can focus on Azazel. Once you get Azazel down, it is very straightforward, and then yeah, basically saving all the cooldowns and basically saving everything until the last wave drops. Morgan Le Fay is going to drop with Satana, and you can pretty much just save Satana and Juggernaut last because they're quite easy to deal with. But yeah, like I said, just save everything when the wave drops, and you'll see what I'm saying here. Basically, Storm's ultimate as well. Boom, we've saved that up, and everyone should basically just get melted here after we unleash everything that we've been saving up for. If you use it early on, you're not going to get the AoE inputs, and you know, this is probably not the only way to do it, but that's just the way that I thought was quite effective. So just so you guys are aware of it, and like I said already, the other guys, you don't really have to worry too much. Hulk's gonna bleed out, Red Hulk's gonna bleed out. Morgan Le Fay, like I said, she's gonna heal herself back up if she makes it to her second turn and uses that special. So this is why we kind of target and we go for her first, and we basically try to take her out before before the other guys, because everybody else is kind of just gonna die off here. So this is why it's important to do that. And on top of that as well, like I said, we do have our characters are in healthy shape, got lots of hits here, yeah, lots of good DPS. Also keep in mind, none of my characters that are on the board right now are tier 20. Everybody's tier 19, either level 105, I think, and yeah, I think everyone's 105. I don't know if anyone's under 105, but yeah, fairly straightforward, minimal investment. Like I said, you do need a couple of these characters. Like I said, Storm, Rachel, they're all raid characters, so that really helps out because people have already built them up, and the rest is kind of the most straightforward part. It's just very easy cleaning up here, and you can hit auto, and yeah, you shouldn't have any issues. But may take a couple tries here just to work on that push. Like I said, your character stats and everyone's abilities and characters and all that other stuff is always different, so you want to just make sure, like I said, to not push the next wave drop until you take care of that Azazel. And then when that wave drops, you can unleash basically everything, the ultimates, the specials, you name it, and take them out. Once we take care of the last stragglers, we can move into the next section here, which is also kind of nice because we have brain fart here. We're gonna be basically going into week number 2, and we are able to use basically a cabal with our LDS, and it makes it very straightforward as well here because we don't need to really use some big teams here. Cell 7 is kind of a give me, and it's a nice way to kind of segue into the next chunk in the next week. It is very straightforward, and of course as well, like I said, it should be fairly easy for people to get through it. I do feel like yeah, there's obviously other teams that you can use, but this is the one that works for me that doesn't impact a lot of my roster, and on top of that, it is fairly free to play friendly as well. I find a lot of people built up Cabal. Again, you probably don't need Omega Red here. I just have him in here because he's 4 diamonds, but I do find that the rewind on the second wave drop really helps to kind of it really helps to just kind of whip everything up and remove debuffs sorry, not debuffs, remove positives. And of course as well, it does a little bit of rewind there and does really do a decent dent, especially because of the fact that it's a 4 diamond and my Omega Red is also tier 20, so that also helps. Again, none of these characters are level 110, but I think my Cabals are all level 100, so that's kind of nice there. You can kind of save a little bit of investment side, and it is fairly minimal, and hopefully you guys are able to see that here. So the next wave is going to drop, and then yeah, very straightforward, just the old X team that we used to use in the Cosmic Crucible side of things when we had basically working towards Apocalypse. So fairly easy here, and Nightcrawler is probably in my opinion probably the most dangerous piece here, but yeah, this is why we want to throw a stun on him if you can. This is I think this is basically the way that we can I'm just trying to think here. So yeah, see the rewind's great, and then yeah, he does a ton of DPS, which really helps in terms of in terms of getting through that. And like I said, I don't know if you could probably get away with a different character instead. I haven't really tried around too much on Cell 7 because it is a very straightforward one, and I don't feel like a lot of people are struggling with this one. It's usually the later sections like 9 and 10 which basically require a little bit more of the Cosmic Crucible teams. 9 particularly because Phx Force, and 10 because it requires a Cursed. So those are kind of the hard ones. This is the fairly straightforward one, and hopefully you guys can see that here, and we are able to kind of get it done in a fairly easy manner here. So that is cell number 7 there. Hopefully makes sense. Hopefully you guys are able to get through it without too much issues as well. Okie dokie. So yeah, we're gonna be we're just making a slight change here on the lineup, but yeah, we're gonna go in here with this one for cell number 8. I don't know why it says 7 there. That's a typo, so my apologies there, but anyways, I'll have to fix that later. So Void Knight's gonna take the first turn here. We throw the ultimate. This is gonna squish everybody together. This is great. We get to apply the defense down. Throw the ultimate here from Franklin. This is gonna strip everything down for us so that he can get some good killing blows. And now Invisible Woman, even though she uses her ult, she's not going to be able to do anything. Now, there is a coin flip. Your Invisible Woman can also go before theirs, just depending on the coin flip, I think. Or does Emma block that? Actually, I don't know. It doesn't matter. So, either way, throw the ultimates, get the defense down going. Ability block Silver Surfer so that he doesn't strip your positives. And then, yeah, once Alondra takes her turn here, this is going to really hurt. This is going to, apply some good damage here for us. And then, yeah, once we get to Invisible Woman's turn, she should be able to do quite a bit of damage as well here. You want to throw the special here as well so that we can get the death proof buff up. And yeah, just aim for Reed so that Reed doesn't do the same thing to them and give them positives. And then, yeah, like I said, once we get to Invisible Woman's turn, luckily everybody on the board is already on the board. So all we really need to do is to get to her turn. And once she absolutely takes her turn, she's just going to blow everything up with her ultimate, watch and learn. Boom. Okay, yeah, and then everybody should just melt off here. But yeah, hopefully it makes sense. If you guys have Xavier or if you guys have Odin, like I said, and that's it. That's kind of the free-to-play stream. You can pretty much crush all these ones here, 1 to 8, 1 to 9. fairly free to play here with these teams. Unfortunately, yeah, number 9 does require a little bit more strategy. And if you guys need to take a look at the different alternatives, I'm going to run them through. I'm going to run them through here for you guys so you guys can have a look at it as well. Okay, never mind. I changed my mind. I just realized I already did a video where I basically run out different variations for number 9. I'm going to attach that in the description so I don't waste your guys' time. For the purposes of this one, and because we want to push through and get to cell 12 as well, we can't use our Exalted X-Men here, but what we can do is we can use our 3-piece Phx Force. And if you don't have Phx Force, you can also use Xavier because, yeah, Phx Force is a bit more of an exclusive team. And who knows when they will be back. But anyways, run it with the Phx Force plus partial Immortals, and it's going to get this done pretty quick here. I'm not going to run the full gameplay of it because I've already kind of done it in the other video, but I'll just kind of show you guys how we do it at the start here so you can kind of see how we control it. And then, yeah, I'll jump to the next section because, yeah, we don't need to watch this over and over again. We've already done it. Hopefully you guys can see that there. Throw the stun in between leader so that way you can spread it from leader basically to everybody else. We can throw the ult here and save the blind when the next wave drops. Like I said, I've already done the gameplay and the footage of it, so it doesn't really make sense to do it over and over and over again. But yeah, hopefully you can see here Rachel does her stun, spreads it out, and yeah, you can kind of see everybody's kind of just stunned now, and it's a massive, awesome, just an awesome amount of clusters of crowd control, and I love that. I love that because it just does so much awesomeness. And it makes things easy for us, right? So save the ultimate. We'll save it for when the next wave drops. It's not going to be too hard because we do have the mass blind as well. So again, like I said, just controlling that Mephisto is the hardest part about the section. When the next wave drops, throw the blind. GG. So anyways, like I said, that's as much as I'll go through it. We'll quickly jump into the next section. Now, for the life of me, I could not figure out a way to do cell 10 without having to use a cursed. Unfortunately, that's just the way it goes. I tried my best here. So again, once you finish 1 to 9, I feel like 1 to 9 is a fairly free to play friendly stream. And then yeah, 10 and basically beyond, you will need to have basically some more built up Cosmic Crucible teams. And that was their intention. Maybe that was the way they intended it. And unfortunately, that's just the way it goes. But yeah, like I said, I tried so hard to figure out a way to do 10. And I've got gameplay footage of it as well. And it's just, yeah, it's absolutely brutal. But anyways, yeah, so we'll jump in here. We'll go run our Cursed with Mephisto. Very, very straightforward, very easy. You guys will see here. They just control it. They just control it so well. And they don't really have too many issues with regards to getting through it. It's just the kind of the way it goes here. It's the territory. You guys will see that here, like I said. And like I said already, Null basically is you can use Mephisto as well. I think in one of my other videos I did Mephisto instead, but Null is an absolute beef bust here. The ultimate, what you can do here is you can focus on Alondra with it. That's what I try to do, just because I want her to bring out Gladiator and then just get rid of him so he doesn't pose a problem later on. But that's just my strategy. I don't know if there's the perfect way to do it. And then yeah, you can just basic here, save Hood's special and ultimate for the later drops. That's going to be handy later. And then yeah, the point here is we just want to basically get these guys crushed here quickly before the next wave drops. Apply all the trauma and the bleeds. This is going to make everybody just melt here. This entire node was designed for the accursed. Unfortunately, that's just the way it goes, and they really wanted us to bring up accursed. Luckily, I did just do a minimum investments on mine, just from the negative zone. All mine are basically 105 tier 19, which I'm saying it's minimum investment, but I mean that's it's still quite a bit of resources involved, right? So apologies there. But like I said, it does make pretty short work of this section. And yeah, no combination I ran worked on this nasty cell 10. It's just, yeah, it was brutal. It's absolutely brutal. Throw the ult here, just get the darkness going so that when the next wave drops, we have a little bit of an advantage. And it's the Galactic Council that's going to drop here, and they're not too bad. Like I said, they're kind of a crappy team, even in Cosmic Crucible, but they're on defense, so they don't really get all the, they don't get all the super buffs that we get. So anyways, yeah, take care of Lalandra. And then the rest of the stragglers you can kind of just target here. Yeah, save Wolverine, save Helverine, save Helverine special here. Next wave drops. We can throw the Carnage special on Groot, just kill him off. That should kill him off with the ping from Null. And then, yeah, now we can focus on the other two here. What I like to do is I like to focus on Blastar first, but you can go on either of them. Blastar's kind of in the middle, so he splashes the other two. That's why I kind of do it. Again, like I said, if you target on the other ones, you're going to get some splash damage, but not hit all three. So that's kind of the way it goes. And then, yeah, Satana here. We saved this special from earlier, so that's going to drain, get some health. This is nice. Get some pings back to Blastar. And then, yeah, like I said, I think you can see here, this is fairly straightforward. With Hood, you can use the special or the alt. I'll use the alt here, so you can kind of strip the buffs. Boom. Okay, Blastar's dead. So now we can focus on Quasar, because Quasar's got some of the negatives. A Thunderstrike. I think Thunderstrike's actually the strongest one here on the board. So taking care of him is probably ideal, but either way, whatever. It kind of goes the way it goes. You can slap auto, and then you guys should be able to take care of the rest here. The rest should be chump change for you guys and shouldn't be too hard. The next section is Daring Warriors. There is a Sentry comp that works. I can't do it because my Sentry is only level 64, but I'm going to attach my footage of the Daring Warriors version. And yeah, people have indicated on Discord, on YouTube, there is a Sentry one that works. And unfortunately, I don't have gameplay of it, but I'll see if I can attach it into the description. This is cell number 10 now, like I said, and we'll quickly jump into 11 here with our Daring Warriors. Finally, okay, we're going into 11 now. Like I said before, there is a Sentry comp that works. I haven't really researched and done too much looking into it, but I just use my Daring Warriors. But yeah, you can bypass this one with the Sentry comp. I think it's with Damon and Jeff and some other people. I have to look at it, but yeah, I know people have bypassed it because they were trying to min and max this tower without using too much investments on the Cosmic Crucible teams. But having said that, you're gonna have to fight through a couple of these attacks here first. Clips is gonna do her thing and heal up. That's gonna help bring the board back to even keel for us. And yeah, what's important here is just making sure we can control that Magneto. If Magneto takes a turn and does the blind and the alt, just absolutely kills us all. So the alt here is massive because we need to take the taunt off of Captain America. Once that taunt's removed, Daredevil can start doing his thing here. We'll target Omega Red since he's got the vulnerability, so he can get an extra ping in there. Yeah, this is just to apply some slow, get our team faster going for us. And then once you do that, Speedball can use a special here. His special is going to apply the ability block basically on this cluster. And it's going to help kind of make things a little easier for us. Omega Red is going to attack, which is totally fine. We're going to have to just do a couple of hits here and survive. And once Eclipse gets to her turn, she should be able to heal up everybody. And, of course, JJ gets some barrier back as well, which is great for us. So she's going to throw the ultimate here. That's going to get the heals back to the team and put us back on the board. And then, yeah, special in the back line. This is going to kill the Phoenix off, which is great for us. We don't have to worry about Phoenix reviving Omega Red then. And on top of that, we get the buffs and the defense down. Coming from that special, which is massive. I love that special. It's pretty much like my goal too. And then yeah, we can basically start focusing on Magneto. You want to get rid of Magneto so that he doesn't take another turn. Unfortunately, if he takes another turn and he does his like special or his ultimate, it does really sting. So that's why you want to make sure you get rid of him ASAP. Next wave drops. This is weird. Usually they don't drop that fast. I must have did something weird. Okay, we'll see how this one goes here. So special here. We'll try to aim for Captain Britain maybe because he's clustering between 5. No, he's got the most here. Let's do Captain Britain. So this is gonna hit 5. And then yeah, and then we should get some energy back from the special. And then yeah, we can just hit the front line now with the defense down. Good stuff. Now with Daredevil's ultimate, this is going to absolute shred because he's got the counterattack up. It's going to probably kill like a few people off. And we'll try to focus on Omega Red here. He's kind of the biggest target. Let's throw the stun on him as well here just to make sure he doesn't do anything else. But yeah, hopefully you guys can see that there. Boom. Stunned. Oh yeah, JJ sells her ult. Okay, sweet. Throw the ult here. And dead. Oh. Okay. No, I thought he was going to die. I guess not. Whoops. Okay. Whatever. Okay, I've been wrong before. So anyways, yeah, so hopefully you guys can see that here. Fairly straightforward. Yeah, I think we could just we'll just kill off. Yeah, we'll just yeah, it's funny. He's just holding on by a thread there. So we'll just throw the basic here. That should kill him. There we go. There. Now he's dead. Okay, so that's 11. Hopefully it makes sense. Yeah. Simple, straightforward. I don't think it's too bad, but yeah, mine are also tier 20, level 110. So these are probably the biggest characters I have in this entire run since we don't use our Xavier. And Storm is also level 110. So I guess she's up there. But yeah, we use those guys up thanks to the Surfer Breaker Scourge. Okay, so last and final section here. If you are able to make it, congratulations. We do use the Exalted X-Men here with Old Man Logan. This is the best way to do it without trying to pump resources into New Mutants. And I'm not gonna play the entire footage of it. I'll speed up the end of it so it's not the whole thing because we've already done gameplay of it. But yeah, basically you want healer ISO 8s across the board. Plus having Old Man Logan as a barrier keeps him alive longer. And once this team gets going and Old Man Logan starts getting his magic, it almost becomes impossible to stop. So hopefully you guys can kind of see that there. But yeah, like I said, this is a very, very solid team here. We just have to survive a couple hits from Mephisto. May take a couple of resets. But yeah, throw the ult here. What's important here is you want to make sure that ult can remove the evasion from Nightcrawler. That's important because if you can't get it off of it, then it's not going to work. In order to remove it, you want to make sure you're targeting Nightcrawler when you use that ult. If you don't target him, it's not going to remove it. So that's going to allow us to stun him, and then he's not going to use that special to get the speed to the team. So that's very, very important there. And then yeah, once you can control Nightcrawler, it's very, very smooth sailing. Even though it looks very sketchy right now, we can throw the blind on actually the stun, excuse me, not the blind. It doesn't really matter who you go after. The important thing here is it's going to apply the slow. So this is going to make our team faster. And then on top of that as well, getting a couple of little extra pings here for health is never a bad thing. Angel's going to reverse things for us. Just aim for the middle here. He's going to give us death proof, flip the buffs. Really, really powerful, even though he's only 2 yellow. And then, of course, as well, that's just going to get things going for us. Like I said, once Old Man Logan starts doing his special and his ult, he just becomes a freak of nature, and he just becomes unstoppable. So hopefully you guys can kind of see that here. I'm not going to leave this at normal speed. I'm just going to speed it up a little bit so you guys can kind of see the gameplay of it. But like I said, I think I've kind of already controlled the board here. Old Man Logan's probably going to die first because he is kind of the weakest one. And you want to take care of him so then he's not using his specials and alt. It's just really, really annoying. We do not want to be playing against him. And of course as well, like I said, it's good to take care of the scary guys first. He's kind of more scary than Professor X because Professor X just gets his ability blocked from Storm. So that's kind of nice. Old Man Logan dies, and that's our cue. So we will speed up a little bit of the footage here, and I'll just do a couple commentary things. But what you want to do is you want to also make sure. Oh, got a message. You want to make sure you don't want to use your ult here for Professor X. Watch here. I used the ult, and watch, he's gonna heal up, I think, a little bit. But yeah, you want to focus your specials and your basics on him, and that way you'll take care of Professor X quicker than using the ultimate. The ultimate just helps him, like, I think it heals him or something, right? Or it cleanses all the negatives. I forget the exact one here. So watch. We're going to throw the ult here, and you guys will see here. I think he gets his health topped off or something. I don't remember. Either way, just take care of him so he doesn't. Yeah, see right here. So yeah, he gets his health back up when we heal. So do not use the ult. Just use basics and specials. Anyways, then once you can kind of take care of the stragglers, the next wave drops. It's fairly straightforward because they're just stragglers. But yeah, Professor X and Nightcrawler, take care of them before the next wave drops. It's going to make things a lot smoother. And then the next team is pretty easy because Old Man Logan just absolutely shreds. Once you take care of these guys, they can't really do anything to us, honestly. You can take your time with it as well because we have so much crowd control. We're going to be able to get the stuns and the ultimates. What you can do is you can time it so that when the Jean and who else is it? There's Jean Grey and there's a Wolverine, I think, and a Cyclops or something that drops as well. But you can just stun them. They're just garbage characters right now at this point compared to the other ones, right? They're not terrible, but just compared to these guys, they're not as good. So obviously, hopefully that makes sense. Old Man Logan just shreds. He's just doing his thing here. And like I said already, we have too much crowd control between Jubilee and Old Man Logan and Storm. There's so much going on here, and this is why I love this team so much right now. It's so fun to play. Hopefully you guys can kind of see that there. So like I said, that is kind of that in a nutshell. That's basically the 12 sections. Like I already said, 1 to 9 is fairly reasonable, fairly free to play, I would say, in terms of accessibility, and then you guys can kind of know how to plan for it next time. But hopefully it made sense. Hopefully it helps you guys out. If you guys weren't able to get as much out of this time, the Storm Tower will be back in a couple weeks, so you can definitely use these guides to plan for the next one. and of course as well, so you kind of know what teams you want to work on, what teams you don't want to work on. And we'll have to see here what happens, right? What it comes after Storm Tower, right? That's going to be very interesting. But yeah, I will leave you guys with that. Let me know in the comments below what you guys feel is reasonable or not reasonable. Like I said, I try to keep the teams alternative, and I know that a lot of people don't want to build up Cosmic Crucible teams because they're just a pain in the arse. But yeah, in order to get the 12 cells, there is needing some incorporation of some of them, like the Accursed and, of course, as well, the Exalted. But nonetheless, I feel like for the most part, you can get a good chunk of them done still, regardless of, with minimum teams. Hopefully this guide has helped you guys out. And like I said, just keep it in the back burner for when you guys need it for the next time. Other than that, guys, always appreciate your time. Always appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll see you guys in the next one.